I'm here with Jack Brammer of the Lexington Herald-Leader, who's about to be inducted into the Kentucky Journalism Hall of Fame. And Jack is an award-winning journalist. In 1990, you won the Seldon Ring Prize, correct?
Yes.
And you've had stories that have also been, or a series that's been nominated for the Pulitzer Prize as well.
Oh, it's quite an honor after being a Kentucky journalist for 42 years and covering Kentucky all of those years. I was figuring up the state is about 226 years old or something. If I've been 42, if I do my math right, it's over 20%.
Right.
I've covered Kentucky history, and that's been a big thrill and honor to be a journalist in my native state.
So you have been involved with the Shelby County Historical Society and other historical organizations. What has that meant to you as you've worked as a journalist, and how has history helped inform your work?
Well, the saying goes that journalism is the first draft of history, so we write the first draft of history. I like to view history in the sense of, these were real people. We sometimes want to deify or romanticize figures in history, but all these people that we read about in history, if you scratched them hard enough, they'd bleed, and they had human feelings and emotions. And I try to consider the times they live in and then apply that to what can we learn today from their experiences in life.
Why do you think it's important for Kentucky communities to have local history organizations, and what benefit do they bring to those communities?
Oh, extremely important. Every place has history, some history to it, and all 120 counties in Kentucky who participated in the Civil War, the War of 1812 especially, back to the Revolutionary War, up to the Iraq War. And so you can study all these aspects of history and then what was going on in each community at the time, looking at civil rights, looking at the history of education, all facets of society. And you can explore those and see where your community maybe made a mistake or where it was a leader in some progressive movement.
So you mentioned how journalists do write that first draft of history. So in your 40-year career at the Lexington Herald-Leader, how's that been like to be a participant in history and write that first draft? Oh,
it is exciting. It still is exciting for this old guy here. I make it a point sometimes to walk up all the steps of the Capitol. I can still do that. And just remember where I am and the history in the Kentucky Capitol. I've covered every governor from Julian Carroll in the 70s to now present day Governor Matt Bevin. And I think I am here to ask questions that people don't have the opportunity to ask, but they want to know. And so it's been thrilling. I still get excited about it. And I feel like, in a way, hopefully, I'm contributing something to the betterment of Kentucky.
So in doing your work on a daily basis, how do you feel like you use history as part of your career?
For example, if I may, right now, this week, I'm covering the budget negotiations, and I note in my story that this is the first time in modern Kentucky history that the budget negotiations will be entirely controlled by Republicans, because Republicans in 2016 gained control of the State House for the first time since 1921. And I was wondering, when was the last time Republicans had control? And so I had checked history with the help of the Legislative Research Commission and found out that records go back to 1908 showing that Democrats had always controlled the Senate. I'm not sure what happened before 1908, but I can conclusively say that this is the first time in modern history Republicans have controlled both chambers and are controlling the state budget. So this applicable history helped me today.
You cover politics more than anything else. And with your knowledge of politics, with your knowledge of covering the Kentucky legislature, how do you think that Kentucky can use history as a way to move forward as a state?
It's funny, I went back and looked at some past sessions in the early part of the 20th century, and they were concerned about education and jobs. And what is this session concerned about? Education. So history pops up all the time in legislation.
Well, Jack, thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and congratulations on your Hall of Fame nomination, and wish you the best.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jack.
it. Okay.
Appreciate it. If history is important to you, please like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share with your family and friends.